This is Jonathan Aguilar here for Pro Boxing Fans, joined by Frank Warren here at the Zach Parker versus Demetrius Andrade press conference ahead of May 21st at Pride Park Stadium. Frank, how are you?
I'm fine, Josh. Yourself?
Doing well. Interesting press conference, even though Andrade was on Zoom. He had a lot of positive things to say about you.
Yeah, he was. Listen, he's well respected. He's a double world champion and Olympian. It's just a shame he couldn't get here. His passport had expired, and I suppose they didn't think that we were going to win the purse bid, so he hadn't applied for a new passport. But we couldn't get one in time. But we hope to get him over in a couple of weeks in front of the fans. But yeah, I think we've done well as we could, and I'm delighted that we got this fight, and I'm really pleased that Zach's got a chance of winning winning the interim title in his hometown, Pride Park in Derby.
Frank, when you signed Zach Parker, he always said his dream was to fight at Pride Park, and you've delivered it. Does it come sooner than you thought?
Yeah, well, he's in that number one spot for a long time. So, in the end of the day, we've made it happen. Like we did for Carl Frampton. He wanted to fight at Belfast in the stadium there, as we did for Josh Warrington, who wanted to win his title in Leeds United. We made these things happen, and I'm just hoping that that Zach follows in their footsteps. He's in with a tough fighter, a real tough fighter, quality fighter, but I think he's a quality fighter too. Andrade's coming up a weight to super middleweight, having fought earlier on at light middleweight, so he's coming through the weights. Whereas I think with Zach, he's always been a natural super middleweight. He's a big super middleweight, and I'm hoping his physical attributes, the fact that he's a good puncher. I think he's stopped his last five, and I think four of them had never been stopped before. That tells you the power he's got. I just believe that with the environment we try to put him in with his home fans, home advantage, all these things, I'm hoping will spur him on and give him a better performance on the night, because he needs to be absolutely his best to beat an extremely good fighter. But I do believe he can do that.
Interim super middleweight title is on the line, so therefore the winner, I guess, moves straight on to that WBO shot. Canelo holds the belt. What's your stance on it? Can you lobby the WBO as soon as this fight finishes, if Zach wins?
The winner's got to fight Canelo, and if he doesn't fight, or Canelo's going to go up. If he goes up, they'll be declared full champion, and if our man wins, then we'll be keeping him very busy. We'll have him out as often as we can defending his title. If it's Canelo, then he's got a massive chance of a huge payday. And he's a young man. He's only 27 years of age. He's a very underestimated fighter. He went under the radar as far as I was concerned until we signed him. What I've seen of him, I think he's been a hidden talent, and we've given him a platform now. And I genuinely do think he's got a great chance of becoming a world champion.
Is this fight going to be, obviously BC Sport here, but is it going to be available in the US where Andre mainly fights?
Yeah, it will be. Yeah.
Undercard, any information on that?
As you know, we've been doing a lot of shows over the last couple of years, building up the talent in the Midlands. So most of those youngsters who've got really good followings will be on the card, and it should be a really good undercard, and there'll be a lot of atmosphere there on the night.
Just moving on, Don King won the purse bid for Trevor Bryan against Daniel Dubois. Any news on when that might take place?
It's got to take place in June. He's put the deposit in. He's sent us a contract which does not reflect what a purse bid is. But having said that, we'll get that sorted out, and we want that fight on in June. Daniel's been very patient, waiting. We worked very hard to get him into the number one slot. He couldn't fight in December because he didn't have his COVID injections, so he couldn't get into the States. He was going to fight on an undercard of a big show out there. And we've had to sod around for quite a few months now with this WBA situation, waiting for this fight to go out purpose, and we don't want it going past June. Don King has an obligation to stage it by June, and that's what we expect. If he doesn't, then we will be asking that we be allowed to put it on.
Just back on this card for a second. Obviously, it's a clash with Matchroom's Buatsi versus Richards show. Is that a concern? For both of you?
Of course it is. No one wants a clash. We've had them in the past. It happens. There's nothing we can do about it. It is what it is. That happens there and then. But as you know, with football clubs, their pitches, we can only use the pitches at certain times of the season, and after this fight, they'll be digging the pitch up and replanting the new one in time for the start of the new season. So that's why we're on this day.
Any chance Wayne Rooney walks back out?
I hope so. I mean, it'd be great for him to do it. I know he's a massive boxing fan. He's been to a lot of shows that I've run. They've had a couple of photographs done together, and he'll be on the pitch tomorrow at Pride Park for the Derby match there tomorrow. So let's all the fans get behind him. I think they sold nearly 7,000 tickets before the press conference yesterday. So signs are good that we're going to have a good house there.
Frank, Fury-Whyte's seemingly just around the corner. What's your thoughts? Obviously, Dillian continues to remain silent in this process. What do you think of that?
Well, he'll be in breach of his contract if he does that, and we'll deal with that afterwards. But I hope he's going to be professional and do all the things that he's signed up to do. That his lawyer, the contract that his lawyer advised him to sign.
Is there a chance he doesn't turn up to the fight week press conference? Do you think?
No, he's got to be there. He's got to be there, and he'll be in serious breach of the contract if he doesn't.
Tyson's brought in Jarrell Miller for this camp. It's received quite a bit of backlash online. Just your thoughts on that?
I can understand that. I mean, look, no one likes the situation, but he's not fighting. And the fact that Tyson, I know there's been a few problems with sparring partners. He's had to bring people in. He's got to focus on that fight. He's a sparring partner. That's what he's using him for. That's what he's employing him for, as a sparring partner. He's not a licensed boxer, nor will he be fighting on the card.
Tyson made comments in the first press conference saying that he would look to retire after this fight. What do you think of that?
If that's what he wants to do, I'll support him wholeheartedly. That's his choice.
Eddie Hearn made comments saying that he doesn't think he's allowed into the fight and he'd be willing to carry White's spit bucket. What is the situation there?
I'm glad he knows what his position is.
Is he allowed to come though?
Is he allowed to come? He'd buy a ticket, he can come. Of course he can come. Why not? No one's barred him. No one's barred him from the show. I mean, I don't know why he makes stupid remarks like that, mate. Who knows? I don't know. Who cares at the end of the day? I mean, do you know what? One thing for sure, the fight will go ahead without him now. We don't depend on him to make it go ahead.
And just two quick ones. Joyce, there's rumours of possible fight with Joseph Parker. I spoke to Adam Morley yesterday. He said the fight's not done yet, but any update?
No, there isn't. At the moment, where we stand is that we're waiting for Joe to confirm what date he's going to be actually available to fight, and then we will announce his opponent.
And just final one, Jake Paul announced the other day that he's going to return in August. Any chance of the Tommy Fury fight happening?
Well, why wouldn't he do that? I mean, unless he don't fancy it now and his bolt's gone. I mean, that's what they were going to do. It was getting great traction in the States and over here. It's a big fight, and Tommy will be out next month or this month. And hopefully it comes through, and let's get that on. I mean, everybody wants to see that. I mean, even me. I mean, I was really keen to see him fight. What I feel is a real proper professional fighter.
And just finally, just one more I came up with. David Avanesyan. Any news on his next move?
We're lobbying the WBC at the moment that they either make an eliminator or order a title fight for him. He's more than capable. He's been around long enough now, and he's. He can fight a bit, and we just want him in big fights.
Frank, appreciate your time. May 21st, of course, Parker against Andrade at Derby, and Fury-Whyte coming up as well. So.
Yeah, we've got quite a few things coming up, quite a few big shows coming up, and we're looking forward to them.
Frank, thanks for talking to Pro Boxing fans.